The burnout of the merit-based treadmill. Have you ever had one of those days where you did everything right? You prayed, you read, you avoided that sin you always fall into, and still, somehow, it didn't feel like enough? Stay with me because what I'm about to describe might hit closer than you expect. There's a kind of exhaustion no one talks about. Not the kind that comes from working too many hours, but the kind that comes from trying to be acceptable, trying to be consistent, trying to be disciplined, trying to be good enough. And the worst part, from the outside, your life looks solid. You show up, you serve, you're involved, you're doing everything a committed believer is supposed to do. But inside, you're tired. Not physically, spiritually tired. Because deep down, whether you'd admit it or not, there's this quiet pressure. If I stop, everything falls apart. If I slow down, I'll drift. If I don't keep this up, maybe I'm not who I think I am. So you keep going, day after day, like you're on a treadmill that never turns off. And here's where it gets dangerous. At some point, your entire relationship with God starts to feel like performance. Not a relationship, a report card. You wake up and without even realizing it, you're already measuring. Did I pray enough? Did I focus enough? Did I fail again? And if the answer isn't perfect, something feels off. Like there's distance, like there's disappointment, like you need to fix it fast. Now here's the twist. This doesn't just come from inside you. It's also shaped by the world around you. Because we live in a culture that worships productivity. Track everything, optimize everything, be consistent, never miss a day. And without noticing, that mindset sneaks into your spiritual life. Your faith becomes something you manage, something you track, something you try to improve. And suddenly, even things that were supposed to give you life start draining it. Prayer becomes pressure, scripture becomes a checklist, serving becomes a way to prove you're still in. And if you're part of a close, active community, it can get even more intense. Because now it's not just internal. You see everyone else showing up, serving, posting, sharing, and without anyone saying it out loud, you feel it. Keep up. Don't fall behind. Stay engaged. So you do, even when you're empty, even when you're running on fumes, even when a small part of you wonders, why does this feel so heavy if it's supposed to be good? And here's the moment most people never say out loud. You can do all the right things and still feel like you're failing. Because the problem isn't your effort. It's what you think your effort is for. If deep down you believe your consistency is what keeps you secure, you will never rest, because consistency fluctuates. If you believe your discipline is what keeps you close, you will always feel one step away from losing it, because discipline isn't perfect. And if you believe your performance defines your standing, then every bad day becomes a threat, every failure becomes a verdict, and every moment of weakness feels like exposure. So let me ask you something. What if the exhaustion you feel isn't because you're doing too little, but because you're carrying something you were never meant to carry? What if the pressure to maintain everything was never yours to begin with? What if the reason you can't find rest is because you're trying to earn something that was never meant to be earned? Think about that. Because the moment that shifts, everything changes. Activity doesn't disappear, but it stops feeling like survival. Discipline doesn't vanish, but it stops being fear-driven. And for the first time in a long time, you can breathe. Not because you finally figured it out, but because you're no longer trying to prove that you belong. And maybe, just maybe, that's the starting point you've been missing all along.